start off with a blanket statement. Very simple. Everyone in this room is a leader. Everyone in this room has an ability to lead. Why? Well, let's look at us as a species. If you think about it, we are natural born leaders. Look at the progression in the human society. We all have an innate drive, an innate curiosity, an innate ability to be able to go forth, move ahead, and progress. Therefore, we all have the ability to lead. We all have leadership. Are you a mom? You're a leader. Are you a dad? You're a leader. We're all instructors here, which automatically makes us all leaders. Then why do some of us feel like we are leaders and others not so much? Why do certain people stand out from others? Well, are they better? No, they're not. There are certain qualities that I believe leaders show and display that allow them to become more prominent in this skill set known as leadership. Now, we have a ranking system. And this ranking system is defined by the stripes on our belt. However, we need to understand that those stripes are to display how long we have been studying our art form, how long we have put into ourselves working on our techniques and our personal martial arts growth, how much dedication, how much time. It's kind of like the rings on a tree. The more rings you have, the stronger technically this tree is, and unfortunately in many cases, the older the tree is. However, that's what that displays. What that means is that anybody, regardless of the rings, how many rings are in their tree, have that ability to lead. Now, millions of books have been written, millions of dollars have been spent on us understanding what leadership is. I just came up with 6. These are the 6 that I feel are more prevalent, more important to our particular field. So we're going to get into what 6 steps we can implement in our field that will lead to leadership success. Let's first start by describing number 1. Leaders are authentic. Well, what is authentic? Authenticity, not false or copied, real, genuine, representing one's true nature or beliefs, true to oneself. I've said this before, we're in a society that constantly strives to be authentic, almost to the point, though, that it's become a cliche. We have to work on being authentic. But meanwhile, we just said, what is being authentic? It's being ourselves. Why is that so difficult? Why is that number 1? Why is that something we need to think about? On your worksheet, in front of you, you have 2 questions that I want you to answer. Now remember, this is for you. This isn't going to be handed in. This isn't going to be evaluated. This is for you to be honest with yourself to see what areas in your life you feel and in your workplace, in your family, that you need to improve upon and perhaps exemplify more to help you reach a higher level of success. When talking about authenticity, who you think the world should see. Who is that? We get up every morning. Do we think I need them to see that I am this? But then let's look at who you really are. That's what being authentic is. Now, I feel that I need to be someone that's very strong. Let's face it, I'm in a male-dominated field. I have to show that. I have to show that strength. However, I have to show that confidence. But is that really me? No, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes I do have issues with confidence. Am I capable of doing this? Do I have the qualities that are expected of me? But if I pretend that I'm something that I'm not, I will most certainly fail. If I pretend that I'm something that someone else that I think they want to see, I will fail. And I've discovered that, yeah, I have a lot of weaknesses, but in my weaknesses, I can find my strength and thereby work on being authentic. Because if you are trying to be authentic, you're not being authentic. All right, number 2, leaders act with integrity. Integrity, the adherence to moral and ethical principles, soundness of moral character, honesty, doing what you say you are going to do. This is a big one. Being able to do what you say you are going to do. Being in a position of leadership is a privilege, not a right. You cannot force leadership on someone else. You cannot give yourself a title and say, this is who I am, this is what I'm here for, this is what I'm going to tell you you have to do. Leadership, and those who are true leaders, do not see it as a right. Do not force it on people around them. Do not make bold statements and bold titles. They lead by example, and people know exactly who they are. On your paper, you're just going to mark yes or no. Answer these questions. Am I honest with myself and others? Do I follow through, do what I say I'm going to do? Do I make excuses? And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Do I complain? Do I speak ill of others? Do I compromise? This is going to be on. Do I compromise? Do I adhere to company policies? Do I treat everyone with respect? Do I anger easily? Do I blame others for where I am in life? Now, don't answer how you think you should answer. Once again, this is for you. If we're talking about authenticity and integrity, we have to start with being honest with ourselves. One of the big issues is, do I make excuses? I love this one. The excuse creator. You could pick anyone you want. I'm sorry, but Princess Peach tried to kill me. Now, we all make excuses. And why is that? There is a saying called there is no excuses. And you know what? I don't like that statement at all, because there are excuses. We live in a world that will hand you excuses every single day. It is up to you, however, to choose to take that excuse and allow that excuse to prevent you from reaching your level of success. Number 3. Leaders are consistent. Everyone knows this is a very big one with me. This is not rocket science. Some of the most prominent leaders we see in the world today have gotten there. How? By being consistent. What is consistency? Consistency is steadfast adherence to the same principles, course, or form. Doing pretty much the same thing over and over again, making a commitment to consistently follow through. This kind of goes back to doing what you say you're going to do. Not only do you have to do in this field what you say you're going to do, but you have to do it week after week after week. You have to be consistent with it. List 5 areas in your life and workplace that you need to make a commitment to be consistent with. My name is Consistency. I am related to success. We should hang out more than every once in a while. How many of us have started a project? How many of us have created a task list? How many of us even made a commitment to start practicing more, to start working out more, to even get to our next rank advancement? And we write it down, and maybe we started out and we do it the first week, maybe even the second week, and then what happens? It falls by the wayside. Consistency is a key to success, but it is one of the hardest ones, because you have to do this every single day. And sometimes there will be things that get us off track. But are you consistent with being consistent? Okay, I have to remember, I have to look, I have to review my task list. Which leads me to number 4. Leaders are organized. Organization, very important. It's to systemize, to structure, coordinate in order to carry out widespread activities. Here we have this. How many of you are major Post-it fans? I used to be. Loved them until all the Post-its started disappearing. Keep calm and make a list. Organization kind of goes hand in hand with consistency. It is extremely important. You have to write things down to remember. There is a lot of hats we are asked to wear in this field. We are not expected to just be karate teachers, martial arts teachers. We're expected to be accountants, marketers, advertisers, psychologists, sometimes even marriage counselors. We're supposed to be so many different things to so many different people. You cannot keep it all in order unless you are organized. 7 habits of organized people. We can read through this. You seek out tools, you set priorities, have less stuff. Stop with the hoarding, keep everything clean in place where you can find it. Choose simple solutions. Practice maintenance, regularly purge, and they also project themselves in the future. They think ahead. You're not just organized in your day-to-day life, you are organized in your plans for the future. We all want things, but how do we get them unless we have an organized, a systematic plan in order to achieve those? Number 5, we're almost there. Leaders pay attention to detail. This is very important in our field in a number of ways that we'll get into in a moment. Detail, attention or treatment of a subject or individual or minute parts. Paying attention to every small detail. You're thinking, how is that possible? What is she talking about? This is instructing martial arts. We understand the importance in techniques as far as details go, but no, I want you guys to be able to get out of your own head. Start looking at the world from the outside in rather than the inside out. I know there'll be a lot of comments about this picture. It wasn't fun looking it up. I'm a little bit scarred, but I think it makes a point. How many of us get hyper-focused on what we are doing, what the task is? We have our student, we focus on that student, we don't see what's happening outside. We get in our office, we have so many tasks we have to complete between lessons that we don't see what's happening around us. We get hyper-focused in order to get our tasks done. However, 2 challenges. Take a day to consistently think from the perspective of a person observing from the reception area. This is huge. Whenever I go into my studio and I am teaching a student, let's face it, we can go on autopilot with that. We have been doing this for years. So you have to be able to divide your mind. You have to, of course, focus on that student and what they are learning. However, while you're focusing on that student, try to think about being the parent or being someone walking by or being an outside observer looking in. What would they see? What would they see you doing? What would they see your school look like? Do they see organization or do they see clutter? Do they see neatness? Do they see dust? Do they see stuff strewn about? We had a thing that we did way back in the day in Escondido, where when it was a student's birthday, everyone would line up and the person whose birthday it was would crawl through in between the legs, and then that individual, all the individuals in line, their fellow students and instructors would punch them Now, everyone thought that was wonderful. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I don't want to go through the human tunnel. But think about what someone who is walking by who doesn't know what's going on, who doesn't know that it's a student's birthday, that doesn't know that we just do this for fun every once in a while and this is all approved of. What are they thinking? What do they see? There are times where we're focusing on students and we don't see the mom struggling with the younger sibling. Take a minute to stop what you're doing and focus on that parent for a second. We don't think about what the parents see if we have a storm member or a teenage student waiting, lying in the back area. We don't focus on that, but take a day to work on being an outside observer. Also, this is a hard one. I've tried it myself. And attempt an entire day of conversation without using the words I or me. I want you to try it. It's really difficult and it is extremely eye-opening, but try to go through the entire day without utilizing the words I or me. Leaders maintain adequate health. What is health? Well, it's soundness of not only body, but it's soundness of mind. We are in a health-related field. We need to be able to exemplify health and what it looks like to be a fit person, both physically and mentally. So here are some questions, once again, on your worksheet, just to simply answer yes or no. Am I overweight or underweight? Am I tired all the time or have a hard time waking up? Do I have the energy and focus to meet daily challenges? Do I think or complain about something hurting most of the time? Do my meals primarily come from a box or fast food restaurant? Do I drink an adequate amount of water? Do I exercise regularly? Do I sleep well? These are things that will affect our ability to be able to perform at our maximum level. If we cannot perform at our maximum level, we are not going to be able to achieve our maximum level of success. You can be organized. You can be consistent. You can be a person that says, I act with integrity. I exemplify integrity. But if you are exhausted, if you do not feel well, if you are carrying an extra 50 pounds around your middle, if you just are drained every day and hungry and having sorts of issues like that, how are you going to possibly be able to follow through with the other 5 steps? You can't. You have to take care of yourself in order to be able to take care of everything else and reach that level of success. You have the ability to define your life. Everyone, like I said in the beginning, has the ability to achieve a level of success beyond what they are even feeling at the moment, beyond any limitations, beyond educational limitations, beyond physical limitations, beyond rank limitations. Everyone has the ability to be a leader. But what is preventing me from being who I really am? You want to be able to own yourself. Start taking responsibility and make that choice, because the difference between certain leaders, who stands out from the others, is ultimately the choices that they make.